Get ready because in this video, we're revealing 3 stocks that Warren Buffett believes could explode and double your money by 2025. These aren't guesses. They're carefully chosen opportunities with the potential to transform your portfolio. If you've ever wanted to invest like a legend and see real growth, this is the moment to pay attention. Watch closely, take notes, and get ready to position yourself for massive gains. If I told you that in order to have the chance to double your money this very year, you need to apply the most solid principles of investing, the same ones Warren Buffett himself defends, but in companies that he simply cannot touch because of his size, would you believe me? It might sound like 2 different things, but it's not. That's the reality of the market. Buffett is the oracle, the king, the living legend of investing. Ignoring him sounds like financial suicide. And yet, properly applying his teachings, value, patience, analysis, is exactly what allows us to find opportunities that he, due to the sheer scale of his investments, simply cannot take advantage of. Here's the raw truth. The brutal statistic nobody wants to print on the cover of business magazines. 90% of people who put their money in the market either lose it or barely beat inflation. 90%. That number should make your blood run cold. Look around you. 9 out of 10 people who try, who save, who hustle, who invest with the hope of a better future, fail. And the main reason isn't whether they follow the rules. It's that they apply them blindly, without adapting them to their reality as small investors. Everyone swims in the same direction. Everyone buys the same safe stocks that big funds and Wall Street analysts squeezed dry years ago, forgetting the importance of deep research and patience. In this video, we're going to take those dogmas and apply them in a way Buffett himself would recognize as smart, but which he himself cannot execute. Today, I'm not going to recite the same old mantras. Today, I'm going to reveal 3 high-growth stocks that, because of their size and stage of development, Warren Buffett himself would never touch through Berkshire Hathaway. And it's precisely for that reason that they now have the potential to double your capital by 2025. Stay with me until the end because the 3rd stock is a bet on a business model so solid that it could rewrite the rules of its entire industry. And the logic behind it is something you need to understand. Look, you need to understand something fundamental. Warren Buffett is an absolute genius, but he plays a completely different game than you and me. He commands an aircraft carrier worth hundreds of billions of dollars called Berkshire Hathaway. When he invests, he has to move so much money that he's forced to buy elephants. Massive, predictable titans like Coca-Cola, American Express, or Procter & Gamble. Magnificent companies, yes, but their days of explosive growth are long gone. They're so huge that to double in size, they'd have to conquer another planet. We, on the other hand, don't command an aircraft carrier. We're speedboats. We can move with an agility he can only dream of. We can enter small harbors, play in emerging markets, and bet on cheetahs. Young, hungry, innovative companies burning cash to grow at 20%, 50%, even 100% per year. Following Buffett's strategy as a small investor doesn't mean buying the same companies he does. It means applying his philosophy within our own universe of opportunities. You're simply using the right tool for the job, but pointing it at the right target. Tell me in the comments if this has ever happened to you. You buy a stock everyone recommends, one of those safe ones, and it sits there for 2 years collecting dust. Meanwhile, you watch the news as tech companies, AI plays, or digital health firms skyrocket 200%, 500%, sometimes more than 900%. Or worse, you buy that hot tip a friend recommended, only to watch it crash 80%. And inside you, that question eats away. How do the winners do it? What's the damn secret they're not telling me? Well, today that secret ends. If you're tired of hearing the same old advice and you feel there's something bigger out there waiting for you, smash the like button so this message reaches more people who need to wake up. And make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell because the information I'm going to share today, you won't find it on traditional finance channels. I'm going to take you by the hand down a completely different path. But before I reveal the first stock, the first company, the cheetah, we need to start at the very beginning, the true beginning. It's not the charts. It's not the news. It's not the numbers. It's your mind. Because at its core, the stock market isn't a finance game. It's a game of mass psychology. And 90% of people fail because of a single fatal mistake, a mental error, a trap encoded in our DNA that if you don't identify and uproot it, guarantees you will lose money no matter which stock you buy. Are you ready to discover what it is and how to turn it into your greatest strength? Because this first step separates amateurs from those who truly build wealth. Let's go. So, what is this fatal mistake that 90% of people make? It's not choosing the wrong stock. It's not entering the market late. It's not even lacking financial knowledge. The most destructive mistake, the one that destroys more fortunes than any economic crisis, is impatience. We live in a world of instant gratification, a world designed to destroy your attention span and patience. Your phone notifications, 15-second videos, news updates every 5 minutes, everything is designed to give you tiny dopamine hits and keep you in a state of constant anxiety. And that mental state is pure poison for an investor because the stock market is a machine that transfers money from the impatient to the patient. Big theses, ideas that really multiply your money 5-fold, 10-fold, or more, need time to mature. Time for the market, which is short-sighted and slow to understand what you already see. Time for revenues to grow, products to improve, and the narrative to build. The perfect example is Palantir Technologies. When you talk about Palantir, you're talking about a company that analyzes complex data for government agencies and large corporations, a critical mission. Yet there was a time when the market hated it. Analysts, the supposed experts of Wall Street, wrote it off. The stock collapsed from over X dollars to just $7. Panic in forums and news outlets was total. It's not profitable. Its technology is a mystery. A black box people were selling en masse. And what did those who had patience do? Those who had done their homework, who understood the fundamental thesis and believed in the long-term value of its contracts, held their breath and bought more. The result? The stock not only recovered, but soared past $50. Those who sold at $7 out of impatience crystallized massive losses. Those who bought at $7 and waited made a fortune. This is the game. It's not about being right in a single day. It's about having the conviction to stay the course for months or years. Every time you feel that itch to sell because a stock dropped 15%, remember Palantir. Ask yourself, has anything fundamental changed in the business, or am I just reacting to collective fear? Impatience will make you sell a diamond thinking it's a rock, just before everyone realizes it's a diamond. To survive these storms, you need clarity, conviction, and a method. You need to know why you bought something and cling to that reason as if your life depended on it. Now that you understand that patience is the secret weapon, the next question is, what is worth being patient for? And that brings us to our first cheetah, a company at the heart of the greatest revolution of our time, artificial intelligence. AI isn't the future, it's now. But within AI, there's a field that until recently was in the shadows, and it's about to explode. I'm not talking about creating images or writing text. I'm talking about voice, the ability to talk to technology naturally, fluently, and intuitively, just like we speak to each other. Think about how frustrating it is to deal with automated bank systems today. To speak to an agent, say agent, and it never works. Now imagine a future where you can talk to your car, a fast food menu, or a customer service system, and it understands you perfectly. Voice is the ultimate interface, the most human, and there's a company leading this silent revolution. A company that, while everyone else was obsessed with other acronyms, was quietly signing contracts with giants like Stellantis, which includes Chrysler, Jeep, and Peugeot, with Hyundai, and with dozens of restaurant chains that want to automate orders to become more efficient. In the first quarter of this year, while the market expected revenue of about $33 million, they reported $42.7 million. Not just exceeding expectations, they crushed them. It was a statement of intent. The stock responded explosively. In just 3 months, it surged an incredible 217%. The name of this gem? SoundHound AI, ticker SOUN. SoundHound is not a promise. It's a reality accelerating right now. It's the technology that lets you ask your Mercedes to play your favorite song, or a machine in a restaurant to take a complex order with custom changes perfectly. What the market saw with that 217% rise wasn't luck. It was proof that the experimental phase was over, and the explosive growth phase had just begun. This is the type of company Warren Buffett wouldn't touch due to the scale of his investments. Too small for Berkshire, not because it's speculative in a reckless way, but because it's a growing cheetah. For us, the cheetah hunters, it represents exactly what we want: cutting-edge technology, a massive market to conquer, and the mathematical proof that its business is accelerating at a brutal pace. But technology, as incredible as it is, needs something fundamental to exist. It needs the physical world. It needs components. And that brings us directly to our second bet, one that is the foundation on which all others are built. Every technological revolution, from phones to electric cars to artificial intelligence, depends on one thing: materials, chips, batteries, high-powered magnets, processors. And these materials don't come from nowhere. They come from the earth through complex processes. For decades, the Western world made a massive strategic mistake. It handed near total control of the most important minerals, so-called rare earths like neodymium and praseodymium, to China. Today, the United States and Europe have awakened to the nightmare of that dependency, realizing they desperately need their own sources of these critical materials, or they will be at the mercy of their greatest geopolitical rival. This is the global chessboard. And on this board, there's one company that has become the most important piece for the United States. It's the only large-scale rare earths company in the entire Western Hemisphere. This is not a simple startup. It's a strategic national security operation. The U.S. government not only supports it with words, but has awarded it multi-million-dollar Department of Defense contracts and invested directly in it to secure the supply of these essential materials for everything from F-35 jet engines and Tomahawk missiles to wind turbine magnets and electric car motors. I'm talking about MP Materials, ticker MP. Investing in MP Materials isn't just investing in a mining company, it's investing in Western technological independence. It's the 21st century version of the pick and shovel strategy, the smartest strategy there is. While everyone else fights over which electric car brand or AI company will win, you own the mine that sells the essential materials to all of them. It's like the California gold rush. The safest fortunes weren't made by those who mined gold. They were made by those who sold the picks, the shovels, and the jeans. And the importance of MP is such that the stock has shown its potential, rising from $31 to over $200 in previous cycles. Now, with growing global tensions and the urgent need for local supply chains, MP Materials isn't just a company, it's a fortress. It's the kind of investment that benefits from chaos and uncertainty, a bet on the invisible infrastructure that moves the world. And speaking of identifying these gems before anyone else, let me quickly explain how the process works, so you see that it's not magic, it's method. There was a company called Applied Digital, APLD, when it was worth just $4.53. Why? Because I saw a clear pattern. They were building high-performance data centers just as AI demand was about to explode. I saw that their contracts were long-term, and that the market didn't understand the scale of what they were building. It was a clear thesis based on an obvious future need. What happened? The stock skyrocketed 900%. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying it so you understand that the pattern exists. It's about connecting the dots before everyone else. And the same kind of opportunity, born from a market misreading, is happening right now in a completely different sector: digital health. Take Hims and Hers, ticker HIMS. First, the cold data. The company is a growth machine. They have over 2.4 million subscribers, growing at a 31% year-over-year rate. Their subscription business model is brilliant. They use a strategy called land and expand. They attract you with a product for a specific and stigmatized need, like hair loss or erectile dysfunction. And once you're in their ecosystem and trust them, they expand you into a full range of health services, from skincare to mental health. It's a solid, predictable business. So why was the stock punished, falling as much as 50%? One word: panic. The market panicked over possible new regulation on weight loss drugs, GLP-1s, which are just a small part of their future business. And here's where the smart investor separates from the herd. While everyone else ran selling out of fear of a headline, those who analyzed the data saw the truth. The core business was still growing at a spectacular rate, and the price drop represented a golden opportunity. It was like a luxury store putting all its merchandise at 50% off because of a rumor. Hims and Hers is a bet on the inevitability of telemedicine and the ability to buy incredible growth at a bargain price simply because the market succumbed to fear. Now, of these three ideas, I want to return to the first one for a moment, because its potential is so large, it deserves a closer look. Of the three bets, I want to put a spotlight on SoundHound AI, because its technology is about to become as ubiquitous as the internet, but in a nearly invisible way. We are entering the era of ambient AI, where technology surrounds us and we can interact with it through the most natural language there is: voice. The market for this is simply massive. We're talking about $1 trillion potential market. It's not just cars, which already represent hundreds of millions of vehicles. It's fast food restaurants, self-service kiosks, customer service systems for banks, airlines, and stores worldwide. It's a wave that's going to change everything. Back to SoundHound, what makes it so special isn't just its cutting-edge technology. It's their business model. They have fierce independence. They don't rely on tech giants like Google or Amazon. They've built their own platform, giving them a huge competitive advantage. This is key because a manufacturer like Mercedes doesn't want the voice in their car to say, "By the way, this is powered by Google." They want their own branded experience, and SoundHound delivers it, and their numbers prove it. They have a gross margin of 58.4%. To put that in perspective, a restaurant chain dreams of a 10% margin. SoundHound has elite software company margins, meaning for every dollar they sell, they keep nearly 60 cents to cover operating costs and generate profit. It's an incredibly scalable and profitable business. Investing in SoundHound is a bet that in 5 years, talking to the devices around us will be as normal as using a touchscreen is today. And so, we arrive at the conclusion, where all the pieces of the puzzle fit together. We've taken a fascinating journey. We started by dismantling the myth that there's only one way to invest. We discovered that the fatal error draining your finances is impatience, a silent enemy programmed into our culture. Then, armed with this new cheetah hunter mindset, we applied Buffett's principles to analyze 3 companies with explosive growth potential for 2025, precisely because they're in a development phase that Buffett himself values: rapid growth and the potential to become an elephant in the future, even if they're not yet. Now it's time to consolidate your game plan. First, MP Materials. This isn't just a stock. It's your bet on the critical infrastructure of the future. It owns the materials that AI, electric cars, and defense need to exist. It's a strategic investment that benefits from geopolitical tension and the West's need for independence. It's the pick and shovel play, a bet on the base of the technological pyramid. Second, SoundHound AI. This is your bet on the next great revolution in human-computer interaction, the idea that voice will be the way we communicate with all technology. A company with explosive revenue growth, elite margins, and $1 trillion potential market. It's a bet on the language of the future. Third, Hims and Hers. This is your opportunity to play. It's the chance to buy a spectacularly growing, leading digital health business at a discounted price due to unjustified market panic. It's buying quality and growth when others see only fear. It's applying the old adage, be greedy when others are fearful. These 3 companies represent a strategy of growth, technology, and forward-looking vision. This is not a path for the faint-hearted. There will be volatility. There will be red days that test your conviction. But it's on those days that the patience and knowledge we've built today will serve as your anchor. Always remember to do your own research. This video is a starting point, a new way to see the board. Don't invest money you're not willing to risk. If this analysis has opened your mind to new possibilities, imagine everything else you can learn. I have other videos on the channel analyzing market trends, other investment strategies, and the mental tools you need to win in this game. Click on one of the videos on screen and keep building your financial freedom. Don't stop here. This is just the beginning of your journey. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.